LSCI off-season is officially over, and we are back to racing in 2026 here for the Lumen Stock Car Invitational. But before we get to any of the points races, we are going to be going down under for the second year in a row in Melbourne, Australia, to the Calder Park Thunderdome, where we will be running the Calder Park Clash. 21 of our poll winners from last season have made the trip down here, and we are going to have an 83 lap event to decide the winner of the first race of the 2026 season. I'm Brennan Wilmington, and joined alongside me this week is Rashia Mahendra for the second year in a row. And Rashia, last year's Clash was proven very hard to pass, and Shauna Everett ended up taking the win in that one. However, some adjustments have been made to the track. Are you expecting a bit of a different race this time around?
Yeah, with the changes that were made to this track in the wake of last year's Clash, where you mentioned Shauna Everett pretty much dominated that entire race, was pretty much the untouchable the whole way. I expect this newer version of this track, with all the adjustments made, will probably have a few more overtakes, especially at the beginning of the race. It seems like that this track's going to be quite a bit of a bottom feeder at the start of things, and potentially even the weather might play a role into this. High winds out today, including a big headwind on the exit of turn two. I think that's just going to go down the entire backstretch. That's going to affect things as well. I would expect maybe a little bit of jittery. The cars get a little jittery on the exit of two. That might cause some problems as well. So there's definitely, I think, going to be at least a little bit more action in this event compared to last year's.
Yeah, absolutely. 23-mile-an-hour winds right now, which is the windiest LSCI race ever ran. The previous record was, I believe, the season two Willow Springs race, which had 18-mile-an-hour winds. So these drivers aren't used to that. But this is a very interesting racetrack. It's not quite a short track, but it's not quite a speedway either. It's somewhere in between. It's kind of in that Rockingham kind of area in terms of what kind of racetrack it is. That's probably the closest comparison to it uh, out of the tracks over in the States that we're going to end up going to throughout the rest of the season. What do you think these drivers will be able to pick up from this race that can carry with them throughout the points paying season?
Yeah, I think tire wear management is something to think about always at this track. We saw it a little bit in last year's Clash. I expect the same to be a factor this season. Obviously, you've already mentioned Rockingham, and that's a similar racetrack. Obviously, you can take some of the lessons regarding tire wear management to that race as well. It to that kind of racetrack as well. It is basically that kind of oval. Not, as you mentioned, not quite a speedway, not quite a short track either. It's fairly unique, even though it's shaped a lot like the quad oval speedways that we have in the United States.
Yeah, it's amazing what a little difference in length can do to a racetrack and really shape it up. But enough about that. It's time to go over your starting lineup. Like I said, 21 drivers are in this race. It is the 20 pole winners from last season, plus last year's winner, Shauna Everett. We had a random draw for qualifying, like we always do, and Everett just so happened to draw the pole. So she is looking to go back to back for sure in this number 57 car. Alongside her is James Harvin in the number 45, who is in his first Clash. Last year, this car was in the Clash, but Oscar Duvall was driving it. Row number two got a couple of McPicky Motorsports cars. Tyler Landry and Corbin Taps definitely showcasing that they can be a threat. They were dominant last season, the McPicky cars. They won 9 of the 28 races. Row number three, we've got George Bryan, car number 3, alongside the 81 of Jack Gino. Row number 4, you got Tamarin Bellinger back for Diamond Motorsports in the number 65. And the number 70, the first new driver swap from last year, Damon Kirby moving from Checkered Flag Racing over to Streamline Racing, as Checkered Flag Racing had basically a purge of their lineup and has a completely new look this year. And we'll get to more of that when we get to the points races later on when we do have full fields. Vinny Scholes back in the number 62 car alongside the 41 of Karina Willis Calloway. Then you got the 39 car of Lakin Herndon and the 92 of Lulu Connie. This is not the second full-time Pacific Racing car. That has gone to the 32, and Kate Summers is still in it. But this 92 will be running the full season with a few different drivers, and Lulu is one of them. Then we've got the 18. This car normally driven by Zach Dearman, and it will be driven by Zach Dearman for all 30 points paying races. But Andrew Kreider was eligible for the Clash. He could not afford to bring two cars all the way down to Australia. So Hudson Motorsports gave him a little bit of help and is giving him a chance to run in that number 18 car. It'll be interesting to see what Kreider can do, especially since he has been in underfunded cars his entire career. This is really the first time that he's getting a top flight ride. So again, this could be a big break here for Kreider. Alongside him is the 36 car of Ashley Blake. Then you got your defending champion, Tim Berry, had a dominant season last year. He's going to be starting in 15th alongside Cooper Spur in the GoPro LA Dodgers car. Then it's the number 50 of Jacob Lopez, still the all-time wins leader and also the winner of the most recent LSCI race, the season finale at Las Vegas. And alongside him is the 52 car of Johnny Everhart, usually a road course ringer. This is the first time we're seeing him on an oval. He qualified for the Clash due to his pole at Coda. So it'll be interesting to see what Johnny can do in that 52, and he's going to be starting from the back. Then we got the 8 car of Darren Walker and the 58 of Joanna Clark, a couple of Hondas in row 10. And rounding out the field is the 55 of Michael Harvin. Like we mentioned before, this is going to be an 83 lap race, just like last year. I'd expect it to be a one-stop race, but it might be towards around the halfway point of the race. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. They could go two-stop. I will be honest, I have not entirely done too many test races with this INI that have had a very long green flag run. So cautions could definitely happen. Turn 2 is definitely going to be a trouble spot, especially with the wind blowing into that corner. But we're going to see what happens here at Calder Park. This is going to be an interesting one for sure.
Drivers, start your engines!
And the field will roll off of the back straightaway here at Calder Park. Rasha, you know the question already. Who do you think's going to win?
Well, with knowledge of last year's race, I would expect someone up front to kind of, at the very least, be in that catbird seat to contend at the front the entire way. So I'm gonna go with the 3 of George Bryan there, starting on the inside of row 3. I would expect someone up front like that to contend pretty much the entire way.
Everett and Harvin will lead them to the green, and we are underway here in the LSCI for the 2026 season.
Looks like the inside of the front 2 rows have already broken away from the pack. So is George Bryan, and it's a mess back here.
And that's not really something we saw last year. Tyler Landry scraped the wall right on the very start of the race.
Yeah, and he's dropping like a rock now, already down to 9th.
Yeah, for sure. There's just no grip up on the top, especially this early in the race. And I think that inside lane is going to continue to be the preferred lane throughout the majority of the event. Shauna Everett has already been de-seated from the lead. It is now Corbin Taps who has the lead, but here comes George Bryan and Karina Willis-Callaway and Lulu Connie. The newly engaged couple, 3rd and 4th right now, working together.
And what a run by these two. And they're going to keep going. Both of them trying to push past Bryan and maybe try to get Taps as well. Here comes the 41 to the inside. But Taps is going to hold him clear for now.
What an interesting
and look out for Tim Berry.
He slid up.
That's going to give the 41 the lead.
Tim Berry started in 15th, and it has only taken him 4 laps to get up into the top 3. Michael Harvin started in last, and he has already found himself up into 7th. So you can just see how much that inside lane matters here, especially this early in the run. And it is Karina and Lulu 1 and 2. But Tim Berry is all over the back bumper of the 92, and he is going to try and break up the duo and sneak into 2nd.
Yeah, look out for Darren Walker as well in the 8. He started back there as well, and on the outside, And he's making his way to the 7th place.
Oh,
Oh, 3
getting tight
wide.
right there.
Almost 3 wide. Yeah, the 92 got sent way up.
Yeah, you get sent to the outside, you're going to be dropping like a rock because it's just that much slower. Here
Speaking
comes
of,
Barry for the lead, side by side. And this is a lot more action at the front than we saw last year. At the line,
oh yeah,
15 one-thousandths of a second. Barry's still trying to push past the 41. He's got the 50 and the 55. The
well
1-2
clear, yeah.
finishers from the finale. Oh,
Oh,
little
92
Connie
hit the wall hard.
got the wall good. Almost got spun
Almost,
around off the front bumper of Taps, but they kept it straight somehow. But that's going to be a lot of damage on the 92 that they're going to have to fix in the pits later.
that was almost a pretty clear how the 2 spun in front of the 16, but everyone's gonna.
Johnny Everhart, the road course ringer, in the top 10 right now. Holding his own in that 52 car, but he's got Brian and Vinny Scholes right behind him. Andrew Kreider in that Hudson Motorsports car, not doing too bad so far. He's running about where he started. And checking out further back, Tyler
You can see
Landry
just how
started
fast
up
he can
near
get
the front.
shuffled back.
Yeah, Tyler Landry
Yeah,
and
Landry
Damon
and Walker.
Kirby both ended
Yeah,
up
Kirby was on that inside
dropping.
line.
Yeah, he started in 7th and he dropped all the way to the back. Ashley Blake, Joanna Clark also back here. They are 3 wide, almost going into turn 3. We've seen a lot more of that than, quite frankly, I expected, and kind of expected that to end in disaster, but it has not. But meanwhile, up front, a familiar sight. Tim Barry leading the field. Michael Harvin second. Shauna Everett, after getting shuffled for the lead on lap 2, is now back into 3rd place. Oh, Taps is now into the wall. Scholes will get by him, and probably the 41 as well, but once again, no accident off that corner, and we pointed out all the wind blowing into that corner. That's already a tricky corner for them to get through, but the wind's just making it worse, and we're seeing some
that's going to
cars
really unsettle.
hitting that wall.
Sorry, that's going to really unsettle the aero on these cars. On that, and you see the 16 strong to hold the line again. Won't hit the wall this time, at least.
Tamarin Bellinger for Diamond Motorsports on the inside. Diamond Motorsports kind of had a rebuild last year. I mean, Bellinger and Clark are the 2 rookies that they hired last year. And Clark did a great job in that 58 car, but Bellinger really struggled. So, second chance here for Tamarin Bellinger in this team. We'll see if they'll be able to do a little bit better this time around as they get around the 92 of Connie. And that's allowed Cooper Spur. Oh, watch out, Jacob Lopez. Another car gets the wall off of turn 2.
And one thing these smaller fields are creating, the small field we have in the Clash, is that cars are moving up and down the field really quickly. As you can see now, the 66 and 8 are on their way back up after getting shuffled all the way back to the rear of the pack.
It's almost like a cycle race.
Pretty much, yeah. Outside of the top 3, who are mostly trading spots with each other, it seems like.
Yeah, we missed another pass for the lead. Shauna Everett is now in front. Barry and Harvin are now 2nd and 3rd. And of course, Everett won this event last year. Trying to go back to back here in the Clash. Not only back to back here in the Clash, but back to back in Australia at this very racetrack. So seems like she's got a knack for this track, and this is a good sign for her to try and get Blake Everett Motorsports their first points-paying win later in the year.
Yeah, with all the changes they made to this track, I expected her to take a little step back, but not exactly the case. 2 wide here, 55 making the move.
Yep, Harvin up to P2 now, the older Harvin brother. And George Bryan is going to try and sneak into 3rd in that 3 car. That's your pick to win, Rashi's been kind of inside the top 10 for most of this race. Hasn't really been in 1st yet. This is about the highest we've seen him, but as we've seen throughout this race, you can go from the back to the front to the back to the front several times over the course of just a few laps, and it looks like Jacob Lopez had to come into the pits for some damage, so that is going to put the 50 car behind the 8 ball early.
Yeah, and that's going to lock you into a 2-stop strategy, I'd assume.
Yeah, for sure.
But
This is not
mhm,
this is not what Lopez wanted to see. He's gonna want to have a caution here later in this race.
yeah, I was gonna say anything could still happen. Given that we've had cars with handling problems all day, it just takes a badly timed hit to the outside wall, or maybe the 50 car bulldozing through the pack on new tires as well.
And it's about a half a second a tire fall off right now, and a little bit more than that on some of these other cars. So Lopez is going to be faster than them, but not by a significant amount. So maybe the 50 could try and get one of his laps back that way, although that is a long way up to the top two. And here comes Tim Berry. He's going to take the lead back from Shauna Everett. Lots of passing for the lead in this race, that's for sure. A lot more than last year.
Yeah, these two have kind of broken out a little bit as there's been a big fight for third, I think, between the 39-3. And here comes Vinny Schultz as well, up to fifth, I believe.
Yeah, 62 car. Vinny Schultz still looking for her first win. She's one of a couple of drivers that have run almost every LSCI race, but are still looking for their first win. Um, Tameron Bellinger up to sixth as well. Solid run for the 65. We shouted them out earlier. Jack Gino in the 81. Michael Harbin washes up the track, and here comes his teammate, his 2-lap down teammate. And Harbin's got some right side damage as well, so he might have to end up pitting for damage also.
Yeah,
These
that's
Motor Racing
quite a
Ventures
bit.
cars definitely seem to be struggling with handling here. The 45 looks like he might have tapped the wall as well. So like I said, the Motor Racing Ventures cars are struggling with handling in this race.
Yeah, they seem to have the most problems with that exit of two, as the 45 just continues to hemorrhage positions here. But things have
Yeah,
definitely calmed down now. A lot of single file racing, but still moves being made.
yeah, you see Clark, Everhart, and Blake in the back here. I think Harbin just got the wall again in the 45. So again, I don't know what they did with those cars at Motor Racing Ventures, but it's not working. Here's a battle for
Yeah,
position here. Andrew Kreider, Karina Willis Calloway. This is for the 12th spot. So Kreider is having a solid run in that 18 car. Not doing anything too flashy, but he's kept it out of the wall. He's kept it close to the top 10. He's been doing a good job so far.
yeah, and if we do go green all the way, saving that time, not having to make repairs, that's going to play a little bit at the very least into the strategy. So that's one thing you want to do, just keep your car clean.
Absolutely. Well, Tim Berry's lost the lead again, but this time both Shauna Everett and Lakin Herndon have gotten past, and here comes the 65. Remember, this car only got one top 10 all of last year. So this is a pretty good run for Bellinger. And for the race
Yeah,
lead,
comes
Lakin
Herndon.
Herndon. I don't think he's led a lap yet, but here he comes. He's the only Columbia Motorsports car in the race, and that goes to show how much Columbia Motorsports struggled, especially for their standards last year.
Yeah, we would expect multiple Columbia cars to be in this race on any normal year, but just the 39 here, but doing really well to carry the torch for Columbia at the moment, running in the lead and pulling away from Everett right now.
Yeah, and last year they only got 2 wins all year, which again, as the top Toyota team, you'd expect them to be getting more than that. And they were both from Akiya Tajima on 1.5 mile racetracks, Kansas and Texas. Herndon went winless for the first time in his career, but he was still clearly the best of the Columbia cars. Just didn't get to victory lane. And Toyota as a whole struggled last year because besides the Columbia cars, the only other Toyota win was Kate Summers at Milwaukee. So definitely looking to have better pace from the Toyotas here this season.
Yeah, Herndon grabbed 13 top 10s last season, which is a very good season, but that lack of wins, it really hurt Toyota as a whole. As just all of the Toyotas last season definitely felt a little bit off. We'll see what they can do this year as we see Jack Gino on the inside here making moves past the 65 of Bellinger. And the 50 is just kind of tagging along right now.
Yeah, he's trying to get up to the leader to get one of those laps back, and then if he gets a caution, he'd get another lap back by being the free pass car. So that's what he's hoping for right now as Gino gets underneath Everett, and Everett's going to slap the wall right there. So she's going to lose second position, maybe even going to lose third to Bellinger. But Bellinger doesn't quite, might get the run off of 4. They're going to have a little battle here for position. Tyler Landry, Tim Berry, and now Kreider's up to 7th in the 18 car.
Yeah, Kreider's looked good in this middle part of the run. He's been just making clean moves, just staying to the inside, and making sure that, again, he keeps that car clean.
And Jacob Lopez has caught up to the leader, Laken Herndon, and he is going to get one of his laps back by passing him. Everett's moved back into second even after hitting the wall, but gotta look at that damage and see how long that they're gonna end up taking repairing that. And we have not gotten a yellow yet, lap 28, and we're still under the green flag. No incidents so far. That could change, but it's looking like we're gonna have a bit of a cleaner race here in terms of caution flags.
Yeah, we've seen no shortage of cars making contact, especially with that outside wall, but
Bellinger's up to P3 and is trying to close in on Everett for second. And they're both trying to catch
lighter there. The 18's gone. The 66. Yeah, up to 6th now.
Battle for the lead heats up as we are getting closer to that halfway point and thus closer to pit stops for these drivers.
Gino back
still about
to 3rd.
About a second of tire fall off for most of these drivers. Here comes the Hudson cars, Gino and Kreider. They're going to move into 3rd and 4th rather. So, I mean, these Hudson cars were fast last year. They won 8 races between their 3 drivers. Everybody at least got 2 wins, which that was a huge step up for that team to really assert themselves among the elite. You know, not the normal driver in the 18, but that really goes to show how good those cars are. If you can put someone that isn't really acclimated to this team into that car and you have him do stuff like this. What a move to the inside. He's going to get past his teammate, and he might get past Herndon as well for second, as Herndon has lost the lead to Shauna Everett, who's back in front. And Kreider is now going to move into second.
Gino's going to... Yeah, Gino... Looks like Jack Gino is going to try to send it 3 wide there, but the 18 also had that inside and was able to filter past. But now the Hudson car's running 2-3, and Kreider with a very impressive run. So here comes Tim Berry again.
Yeah, and it was Hudson Motorsports and McPickey Motorsports last year. They combined to win 17 of the 28 races between the two. And here you see one of the McPickey cars and both of the Hudson cars in this race as Berry knocks Gino up the racetrack. He's going to try and break up the duo. He's going to move into 3rd. That is going to give Laken Herndon an opportunity to get by him as well. And perhaps Cameron Bellinger in the 65 as well, who's done a great job of keeping themselves among these drivers. And this is exactly what Shauna Everett wants to see behind her.
Yeah. All this is helping Everett pull away a little bit more. Because if these guys are all fighting for second, that's going to let the 57 just pull out. Just a few extra tenths. But here comes Tim Berry now.
Yep, Berry up to second, Herndon to 3rd. Kreider, I think, got out of it a little bit and kind of let them by so as to not risk hitting the wall. And he's also going to get passed by Cameron Bellinger.
Just like that, the Hudson cars went from 2-3 to 5 and 6 in about a lap and a half.
Still a great run regardless for them. You got a bit of a break back to Tyler Landry and Cooper Spur, and they are very spread out in this back part of the pack.
Yeah, it looks like most of the action is happening. Yeah.
36 got the wall there a little bit. But yeah, like you're saying, most of the action is happening in this 2nd through 6th range as Kreider tries to stick the nose underneath the 65, and he will. That is 4th position, but the 65 got a little bit of a run off the top and is actually going to hang on to the spot, at least for now. You know, those tires getting rubbered in and wearing out makes the outside a little bit more feasible on exit.
Yeah, and that's something with the evolution of the track. It's going to get a little bit more feasible to fight on the outside.
Herndon to second, gets past Barry. Side by side once again between Kreider and Bellinger, and this time the 18 will get the spot. Bellinger got close to the bumper there, but will slide in. And now Gino's going to try and pass, and here we go. Oh boy. They are pitting
Oh, yeah.
early. It looks like this might be a two-stopper after all. Lap 38.
Yeah, they're coming in well before the halfway point here, so they're almost committing themselves into a two-stop, I would say.
Yeah, that means we're going to probably have a late cycle in this race as well, which will make things interesting. And if I remember last year's race, I don't remember it all too well. I think there was also a late cycle in that race as well.
Yeah, I think so as well. You have to take
But here
4
we go.
tires here with the tire wear you get. Yeah, all of them are going to take 4.
And here we're going to see how much of a difference that damage is going to make. 18 gets off.
That's
1
the
gets
1.
off. None of these cars have a tremendous amount of damage on the right side, but the 3 car is getting held up a little bit. And here comes Everett. This is the car that we want to watch because she came in as the leader, but now
It has that little bit of damage, yeah.
she's got that damage, so we're going to see how much that affects her.
45 with significant damage to the right as well. Oh, and the 16. That right side is all used up.
Taps has been in the wall multiple times, so he's been struggling in this race. But there you go. Lakin Herndon's going to blow past the 57 in the pits. They're taking a lot of time to buff out that side, and that is a lot of track position that the 57 just lost. And
yeah,
you're seeing it happen to the 45.
You see the leader is filtering past as well, the cars that came in a lap earlier.
And it looks like Andrew Kreider is going to cycle out as the leader, potentially. Still got a couple more cars in.
Landry had a bit of damage. I think he's going to be probably mid-pack again. The 16 took a long time to fix that damage.
Yeah, there was a lot of damage on the right side of that car, but there you go. That's what we pointed out about 15, 20 laps ago. Andrew Kreider done a great job of not using up that right side, and it's gotten him the lead.
Yeah, and with one more pit cycle approaching, that's something you're going to have to do again. Just kind of keep things tight and make sure you don't make that mistake. Barry's bearing down on him here.
I guess that's a bit of a benefit to Kreider, having driven for low-budget teams his whole career. He's had it drilled into his head. Hey, make sure priority number 1, don't wreck the race car. And so he's got that extra bit of savviness that maybe some of the other drivers that are not used to driving for underfunded teams don't have. So that's really helped him out in this particular race.
Yeah, and I want to point out one of the big winners of the pit cycle, number 24 of Cooper Spur, is on the top 5 now. Good stop for them.
I believe he was in 8th beforehand, and yeah, he's up to 5th now. Jack Gino is now in 7th.
Landry gained a few spots, actually, by staying out. 16's a lap down.
Corbin Taps has lost a lap, yeah, that's just how much damage he had. Johnny Everhart is now in the top 10.
Yeah, that's a big gain. Everett there down to the tail end of the top 10, fighting for 9th here, actually.
With the 3 of Brian.
Yeah, and the pack's definitely spread out quite a bit now. 10 seconds. Well, 8.5.
We missed a pass for the lead there. Tim Berry gets past Andrew Kreider. And now the 1 car, the defending champion with that gold splitter. Or the gold spoiler, rather. Finds himself in the lead once again.
Yeah, just pulling away a little bit here. 18 kind of struggled on the outside, the exit of turn 2 there. That's going to increase the gap a bit, but you can see here the top 4 are 2 seconds apart, so definitely very spread out now.
Gotta wonder if maybe they'll end up coming back together here later in the run, but Barry is starting to open up a gap over the 18 car, so we'll see how the rest of this race plays out. 45 laps in, we have not had a yellow flag yet.
Yeah, we'll see if any of these cars on the edge of the top 5 or top 10 have that kind of long run setup. As if you can manage the tire wear there, you can gain quite a bit of ground, I would think.
Jacob Lopez in the 50, the tables are turned on him now. Now he's got the old tires, but he's on the lead lap right now. So again, if he catches a caution, then he'll be back on the lead lap. He can come in and take tires, and he'll be right with everybody else again.
Yeah, this is exactly when you'd want a caution if you're the 50. Just so you can maintain that spot. But he's going to have to come in pretty soon, and that's going to reset the cycle over again for Lopez.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a close call between the 70 and the 36. You could just see how much faster they are. He cannot hang out there for much longer. Yeah, definitely a more spread out race here, a little bit closer to what we had last year.
Yeah, almost 10 seconds now separating the entire top 10, so... But
Ooh,
I feel
here
like
comes
that's
Kreider,
somewhat
though.
expected. Ooh,
What
yeah.
a corner he just had. Just because it's more spread out doesn't mean we don't have battles going on. Here comes Kreider trying to get the lead back from Barry. Barry slips up in 3 and 4. Kreider's going to peek the nose underneath. And they're side by side. Barry trying to get a run around the outside lane in the quad oval. Almost cleared in there.
The corner. Fairly clear, but that's going to hurt because the 18 is going to get to the inside.
And Kreider's back in the lead. I definitely don't think this battle is over. I think these two might be swapping the lead back and forth a few times. The 39, the 65, and 24, they want these cars to keep battling because that'll let them close in a little bit. 1.5 seconds back for
every
Lake
lap
and Herndon.
Every lap that the 18 and 1 swap positions, that's a few extra tenths for those cars, some 3rd through 5th.
Kind of according together a little bit back here, but not much changing for position. The 3 and the 8 have been swapping back and forth for 10th as Walker tries to get that spot back. Walker's the only Walker Brothers racing car in the field, which is interesting. He was also the only one to win for them last year, but he won 3 times.
Yeah, and here he comes to the inside of Brian. Brian's just going to stand on the outside and cede the position for now.
Yep, that'll put Walker back inside the top 10. And Kreider is now up by almost 9 tenths on the one car of Tim Berry. Bellinger is now up to 3rd and is rapidly closing in on Berry. So this 65 car might be in contention for the win if they can keep the car
closing
clean.
in. Definitely very strong on this kind of middle part of the run now.
And we saw that last run as well. They've been very good in the middle part of the run.
Yeah, it seems like those... Oh, here comes the 50 already coming in.
Yep,
That's
Lopez had to
reset the
cut his
cycle for
losses
Lopez.
and come in. So he's going to be 2 laps down once again. No traffic around him. Well, there's some closing in on him, but he's going to have a clear track ahead of him, at least initially.
See if the 65 can also drag the 39 in. Because Lake and Herndon is definitely sticking with. Here we go.
Almost got into the quarter panel.
Yeah, these two are definitely closing in on the one, despite them fighting each other for 3rd place.
Yeah, Bellinger last lap around gained 4 tenths on Andrew Kreider from 3rd. And now the gap is over a second between the 18 and the 1. Herndon has caught up to Tim Berry.
Yeah, Berry's had a few bad laps here, and that's really helped the 39 and 65.
The 1 goes way up the racetrack there. Might be struggling a little bit here on this second run.
But managed to close the gap by a few tenths. Got it back down under a second, but here comes Herndon.
Yeah, Herndon trying to end that winless drought. Of course, this is just an exhibition race, so it won't really end the drought. But you know, when you're on a winless skid like Lake and Herndon is, you just want to see victory lane.
Yeah, any win will do right now.
Yeah. He's going to move to second. He's
That
half a
gap's
second
almost
back.
halved.
Half a second back of the 18 car. So we'll see if he can close in on Herndon here. Maybe he's got a little bit of a better long run car. Bellinger,
Bellinger's right
Spur,
there with
fourth and
them.
fifth. Everhart has moved up to sixth.
Yeah, really good car on the long run for the 52. Looks like a
He's gotten past two of the best oval racers in LSCI, Jack Gino and Tyler Landry, and he just up and past them. And this is his first oval race in a stock car, so this is some very impressive stuff from Everhart.
Yeah, I was gonna mention you usually only see him on the road courses, so putting him in an oval like this, with the way he's performing right now, is definitely intriguing.
Yeah, maybe Blake Everett should consider putting him on a few more ovals this year.
See the gap now, just a quarter of a second.
Oh yeah,
And
Herndon is there.
there's also a lap car in front of them, looming
Vinny
pretty soon.
Scholes.
Yeah,
So they might end up catching her. She might end up playing a factor in this battle.
yeah, she's only
Oh,
about a half a turn, but 39 really
here
messed up
comes
that quarter.
Barry.
That's gonna help Kreider hold them off for a few more laps at least.
Yeah, and Kreider is catching that 62 very fast. Barry is going to move back into second as Herndon slipped up in 3 and 4, and Tim Barry was able to take advantage. Seeing less cars hitting the wall this time around, too. It kind of helps that they're more spread out and not battling each other quite as much. Except for these two. It seems like they've been battling this entire run.
Yeah, these two are back at it
forth.
again.
Yeah, Brian and Walker. Lulu Connie, Karina Willis-Callaway running 12th and 13th right now. And then a couple of the other cars that have been struggling in this race or have gotten into the wall. Or both. But here we go. The 62 has been caught by the 18. You know she's not going to want to go a lap down, so she'll probably fight the leader for this. That could help Tim Barry, Lakin Herndon, and Bellinger.
Yeah,
But
the gap
Kreider's
got all
kind
the
of-
way back up to 8/10, so
Yeah, he's opened
that's
up
gonna
that
come
gap a
down
little
really
bit.
quickly right now.
Oh yeah, the 62 is getting in the way.
Well, but Barry really had a bad exit off of 2 there, almost hit the wall.
Barry's really been fighting that car here in the second stint, and here comes Kreider to try and put the 62 a lap down. Got about 20 laps to go here in the Calder Park Clash. Andrew Kreider running the Hudson Motorsports 18, trying to get an upset win here. And this would be quite a story for Andrew Kreider getting this opportunity with Hudson.
And
Especially
Kreider
if he
actually
ends up
pulled the
winning.
gap. He actually extended the gap that last lap up to 9/10 now. And the one continues to struggle with that, with turns 3 and 4 especially.
We're still going to have one more cycle of stops, and because of how late it is, Russia, do you think anybody's going to try and roll the dice? Maybe only take 2 tires? Try and hope that the tires hold up for long enough for them to keep that track position?
I would expect a few teams, I think, to think about it and maybe try it out. Maybe if you're in that 6th through 10th range, you're under 10 seconds behind the leaders. That would be just enough, I think, to take advantage of that.
They'd only have to
But I
hold
think
on
if you're
for a
everyone
few
else, you just take
laps.
4. Maybe
Yeah.
pray for a caution to even things out.
Here comes the 50 on the fresher tires, so he's going to catch up to the 1 who's having some issues with Vinny Scholes here. Almost turned her off of turn 4, got into the back bumper. And that definitely helped out Kreider. 1.1 seconds between the 18 and the 1, and now he's going to have to deal with Lopez here in just a moment.
Yeah, the gap's over a second for the first time in a while now. Just the beginning of this run, really.
Lopez washed up there. He's not going to get to Barry quite yet, but again, he's got the fresher tires than Barry. Third and fourth remains the same. Everhart is actually caught and passed Cooper Spur and is now in 5th. That 52 is on rails right now, but he's 5.4 seconds back the leader. I mean, that might be a car that would want to try that 2-tire strategy.
I was going to point that out. The 52 looks particularly strong, but you're going to need to try something if you're going to get to the leaders, I think. So that's might be something the 52 team is considering.
Lopez just got past Barry, and he's gonna end up catching up to Kreider as well, so this could give Barry a little bit of help. Gap's now down to 3/4 of a second. Kreider has been smooth, calm, collected. I don't think I've seen him get into the wall a single time this entire race, so
If he did, it
he
was
has
very
driven that 18
light.
very well.
Yeah, that right side looks clean, so.
Lopez will get by the 18. This could help Barry close in a little bit, but again, Barry's been kind of struggling with that car, kind of been fighting it over this run. Still keeping that car in second though, so still a great run for the one car.
Yeah, I feel like he's trying kind of run up the line of it. You're trying to do that, you tend to and lose time than not.
Yeah, I think the one would be pretty satisfied with staying with the 18 so that you could maybe leapfrog Andrew Kreider in the pits. Because that tire wear is really starting to
Yeah, we
come
still
down
have one
here.
more stop coming through.
A second and a half.
1.5 seconds last lap.
For Andrew Kreider. And it's getting close to that for Barry, so
About
these
a half
guys
a
are
tenth
going to be
less, yeah.
pitting very soon. We've got 13 laps to go. This late cycle could throw a wrench into things. And we will see who the first to come down is. It is the 62 who came down the previous lap, as she was a lap down, but oh, wow. You see the damage on the 36.
Big damage on the 36, yeah. And the 55. Look at the 55's right side.
Yeah, those two cars have already been struggling this race, and they've been getting into the wall, it seems, as well. So, watching these leaders when they pit, I believe they pitted on lap 38 last time by.
Yes.
So it will be a few laps from now, and we'll see them come in around lap 75 or so.
So Cooper
Gino
Spurs
has
gained a bit more pace now.
Yeah, Gino's moved up to 5th, but now is under pressure from Cooper Spur, who's been having a pretty good run in this 24 car, solidly, consistently in the top 10 throughout this race. And he will take over the 6th position, or the 5th position, rather.
Yeah, made up a few spots on pit lane, came out 5th, and has been there ever since.
Still staying out, nobody's in quite yet. Everhart and Gino side by side for the 6th position. Landry slipped back to 8th. It looks like Darren Walker has won that battle for 10th as Lulu Connie moves past
Lulu
George
Connie
Bryan.
now
Oh, look at this.
Ooh.
Uh-oh, what happened to Kreider? He had a bad lap. Tim Barry is there now, and now he's to the inside of Andrew Kreider, and he's going to take the lead before the cycle.
That's
not
crucial
sure what
for Barry
happened to
here.
Not sure what happened to Kreider. He was 3/4 of a second up. Did he get the wall, possibly?
Doesn't look like there's any damage, but you never tell.
Oh, here they come.
Oh, here we go.
Herndon's
39
gonna
stays
stay out an
out.
extra lap. Doesn't look like much damage on the 18. Maybe he just kind of had a bad corner, and that was enough. So here we go. These two are going to be pitting right
crucial
next to
pit
each
stops
other.
for both teams.
And this is going to possibly decide the race. They're not taking tires.
Oh, it's a splash
Barry's
and
already
go.
out, but Kreider took
stop.
a little bit longer. Oh, he's getting hit in
Oh,
the
and
pits as
damn it,
well.
and contact.
Well, now he's got some right side damage. And Barry's going to beat him out of the pits. They didn't take
really
tires at
fast
all.
stop by the one. I'm kind of surprised, but there's only 6 laps to go, I think. So, not entirely out of the question that you just do that.
Lake
39's doing the
splash
same.
And go. He is out of here. Tamarin Bellinger, same thing for them.
Gino
Watching
looks like
for
to
that
do the
one
same
car
thing as well.
There he is. And there's Lake and Herndon. And Barry's going to beat him.
I think it's going to be Barry's to lose now. That was a really fast stop by the one crew.
That was flawless. Looking for where Landry is right now, and there he is. He still has not pitted. Now he's coming in. So he will be, I believe, the last one to come in.
Yeah, Landry stayed out late last cycle, so not entirely surprised that he stayed out this time as well.
That's the last line of defense between Barry and Victory Lane right now. But I don't know if they're going to be able to get on and off pit road fast enough because he was running in 8th place. Here we go. 5 laps to go. And indeed, Tim Barry has taken the lead. Lake and Herndon is about a second and a half behind him. And there's a lap car between the two. Yeah, James Harvin in the 45 is in between them. But they're closing in on him. This is not over yet.
Yeah, there's enough laps for something can happen here, especially if the 45 gets to the inside of the 1. That's going to throw things entirely out the window.
And Barry has been having issues with the car, so, you know, he's just got to wrangle it around for 4 more laps.
Yeah, obviously they didn't make any changes to the car that last time on pit road.
That's easier said than done. Here we go. Lake and Herndon is closing in, but is there enough time for Barry to lose the lead? 3 laps to go. No change between the 1 and the 39. Harvin's running him down a little bit, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, the thing is, everyone's on old tires now, so it's going to be hard to pass no matter what.
But it was that pass right before the pit cycle that really helped Tim Barry get to this position in the first place. 2 laps to go. The 45 is gaining on him. But I just don't think that there's enough time for Lake and Herndon to catch him.
The 39 isn't really tagging along with the 45 as well, but here comes the 45.
Here comes Harvin. White flag in the air. 1 lap to go here for Tim Barry. If I were him, I'd just let the 45 by. I do not want to go side by side through 1 and 2 right now.
Don't
but that's
fight
exactly
him. Oh, never mind.
What's going to happen? And he's going to ease up, let him by. The 39 is not close enough. And Tim Barry, the defending champion, is still on top. 2 more corners for the 1 car. He's picking up right where he left off. And Tim Barry is going to win the Calder Park Clash. Oh boy, if there were a couple more laps.
Yeah, 39 was bearing down on him there.
Yeah, he only ended up 0.6 back at the finish. Tamarin Bellinger is going to get 3rd. And Andrew Kreider looked like he had that in the bag, just slipped up at the very end and then didn't have a great pit stop, but he's still going to get a top 5. Still a great run for him. Tyler Landry's short pit ended up gaining him a few spots at the end. He ended up 5th. Johnny Everhart, the road course ringer, finishes in 6th on an oval. So great run for the 52. Cooper Spur, Jack Gino, who definitely scraped the wall in that last stint. Darren Walker and Shauna Everett will round out the top 10. Well, it was definitely a very interesting race. Very kind of different from last year, but it was similar in a few aspects. What did you think, Rasha?
Yeah, I think the narrative of the race, I think, was decided on that first pit cycle. When they came in on lap 38, from that point on, I knew that that second pit cycle would be the deciding factor for all of these teams. I didn't think it was going to be that decisive, because that the pit stop that the 1 crew had in that last stop was just leaps and bounds beyond better than everyone else, especially compared to the 18 team, who kind of had a bit of a stumble at that stop, took a few extra seconds, where the 1 team, Barry came in, you blink and you miss that stop basically. And that was, I think, the deciding factor for the one team today. That and making the pass right before the pit stops, of course.
Yeah, we didn't quite see what happened to Andrew Kreider. He might have possibly brushed the wall a little bit, which could have explained why it took a little bit longer on the pit stop as well. Uh, we didn't really see any damage, but again, he could have just scraped it a little bit. But still, a great run for Andrew Kreider. Again, this was basically his only shot in good equipment uh so far, and he made the most of it. He ran a very good race. It looked like he was going to win this thing for a lot of it until Tim Berry came and ended up snatching it right at the very end. So still a great run for him regardless. Great run for, again, Tamron Bellinger. We were shouting them out for most of the race, having a great run. Ends up with a podium finish. You know, that's got to be very encouraging for Bellinger, who struggled last year. But seeing some improvement right out the gate has got to be great for that 65 team.
Yeah, pretty impressive run by the 65. Managed to have top 5 pace from that, I'd say the middle of the first run on. Impressively managed to stay on with all of these teams on drivers on the big teams, basically.
Yeah, and then
Have had the pace to compete.
yeah, we pointed out Johnny Everhart as well. Cooper Spur had a great race as well. So some of those drivers who were struggling last year, or Everhart just lack of experience, did take the fight to some of these bigger teams. But it was still the bigger team that ended up winning. Tim Berry getting the win. You see the rest of your results right here. Vinny Schultz, Ashley Blake, Corbin Taps, all finishing off the lead lap, all probably due to hitting the wall. And you know what? Jacob Lopez, he ended up beating both of his teammates despite going 2 laps down at one point. Just
Yeah,
because
I don't
everyone
think
ended up
he
having.
made that last stop. I think
Well, yeah, because he made
he
his.
only made 2 stops. Yeah,
He did make 2 stops. Everybody did in the end, so
yeah, it
it
was
didn't
just
end up
very
mattering
staggered.
much. Yeah, he
Yeah,
was a bit off sequence, but he did. Again, he did still end up beating a few drivers after all of that. So that's going to do it for the Calder Park Clash. Congratulations to Tim Berry and McPicky Motorsports on their win. This is a sign of things to come. The field should be very scared. But Berry wasn't really the dominant car in this race. He was one of the better cars, but he just managed to show up at the end, and that's kind of how it went last year, too. Berry wasn't really the dominant car in too many races last year, but he shows up when it matters, and that's what happened once again. So that's going to do it for today's race. Thank you, Rasha, for joining us in the booth, and we're going to see you guys in 2 weeks for the start of the LSCI Championship season. We have a lot of things to discuss in the Atlanta race for sure. A few changes made in the off season, some driver swaps, and just a few other fun stuff. And I'm really excited for this new season to kick off. Thank you all for watching this race. This is Brennan Wilmington, signing out.